Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm here with hubby.
Hubcap.
And today we are drawing in Photoshop. Sorry I'm running late. Have you ever had a time where you woke up an hour late and then everything was late? That is today. Alrighty, let's quickly say hello to, let's see here, Ivy, Rebecca, sorry about that, Rebecca, Andrea, Carrie, Sheila, Spencer.
Burl.
I know Burl's here. Hey Burl. Trying to quickly go down the list. My screen that I'm looking at is smaller. I'm not looking at the monitor up here because today we are drawing in Photoshop. Alright, so I can push all this back so I can see what's going on. So, we're doing the Master Portraits studies for January 2022. I just said that out loud. That's so weird. Yay, it's snowing. And
real quick, Carmen's here, and so is Jeremy.
Hey, Carmen. Hey, Jeremy. So, I am making my pattern, and I'm going to be studying the John William Waterhouse's Magic Circle. The original painting, the final painting, because he did a sketch, he did 2 study paintings, and then a final painting, and that final painting was 6 foot by 4.2 feet. Huge. And it was done in 1886. I went and made sure to look up the definition of a portrait, because I'm looking at it going, this has got a background. But a definition of portrait is a painting or a piece of a person, and they are the focal point. So it could be the person sitting, like I know Andrea is doing the beautiful Girl with the Pearl Earring by Vermeer. And there's no background, it's just dark, it's just her head and her shoulders, and that's a great portrait. But a portrait with a background, or a painting with a background where there's one person who's the central figure, is also a portrait. So that's why I picked this one. I'm trying to think, was there anything else real quick? And then we will go into, I had a problem with, and I realized I didn't open them all up. I had a problem finding an original photo for this painting because, let's see here. Let me go into...
You match.
Kind of. In color, yes.
Yeah.
This is the actual painting at the Tate Museum, and it was... Gonna open? Open. We've got a lot going on with the computer with Photoshop and then live streaming, so it might take... There we go. This is the actual original painting that's in the Tate Museum. It was painted in 1886 or finished in 1886 and donated to the Tate Museum, but actually now it's in Tokyo. So if you can get to Tokyo, you can see this painting in person.
Wait, one of our people is in Japan.
Yes, Marcus.
Marcus could look at it.
He's sleeping right now. Well, I don't know how close he is to Tokyo. I don't have the list in front of me for his address.
So Japan's not that large.
Excuse me.
Iron TAF says hi all.
Well, hello. Let me pop that up on my screen real quick. So.
Or is it
Irene? Irene. Hello, Irene. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I had to now decide, once I picked my painting, I picked my artist, I picked the painting. Now I had to decide what size wood I was going to do it on. Now I could do it on a smaller piece of wood, get it done quicker, but because what I'm trying to achieve with this portrait, I think it would totally miss the mark. So for me, I will be doing this painting at, let's open up a new file because I got to create it anyway. I'll show you how I create it. And what I do is I always create a file, a separate file of the actual size of my wood. That way I don't have to worry about it being too large or too small for my piece of wood. It might be a little off, but that's it. 17.3. That's the size of the painting cut in half of the second original, or second copy. It looks slightly different, but I want to paint this one. Alrighty. So with this being the original, let's make sure on the size that it downloaded. I always want to work with 100 resolution.
Why is that?
Because then I know it's the exact same size of my wood. If I do it at 300, but do it at the size of my wood when I print it out, it's too big. And I've done that so many times. Don't ask me how I know. 3. So let's make it a little wider. That's totally fine. Go away. So I'm resizing this. The thing is if you look at it, I actually need to crop it first because you can see the edge of it, which is not going to be incorporated. You can see where the frame is. And what's weird is, let's zoom in. I'm trying to see if this is paint loss, and it is. It looks like it's paint loss because the black right here, hopefully it's showing my, it's not showing my, are you guys seeing my arrow? That way I know. Oh, yeah, I see it now. All right. Not sure if that's a frame with loss, but with that being the case.
If you look carefully on it, there's like a line, go to the right there. You can kind of see that there's a line like right there. Yep, right around there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it was on the frame.
Yeah. Let's see if that takes everything out. Does.
Sky Tower is here.
Hi, Sky. We'll do this again on the bottom. Now, the reason I knew the other photos that I was pulling, that I was like, oh yeah, I like these photos, is because they kept cropping out his name. And we don't want to crop out his name. Now, I don't know that I'm going to actually burn his name on the front. It will be burned on the back. When you're doing an artist study, you need to give that artist credit. So it'll be, I'll have original master, John Williams Waterhouse, 1886, and then I will sign underneath it, listing it as a master study. But I can sell it. And that's why I put the time frame of 1947. Everything before that, except for I think a couple of artists who their ancestors or families are holding on to copyright. Other than that, most of them are all 1947 pieces are all open to studying. Alrighty, so I got it cropped the way I want it. They're still a little bit off, but I'm not going to worry about that because when I burn, I can put the information back or I can leave it, actually. I'm going to move the piece over. See, now we see it's bigger than our wood. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make it a little larger. It looks like we're going to have like a bigger sky. But if you think about what we took out, that makes sense. Alrighty. So there we go. Now I need to lighten the photo because right now to draw off of it is just too dark. And again, this is the actual photo from the Tate Museum. And I don't know that they were trying to go for like the best photo. So we're going to go up to images, adjustment, and we're going to hit curves first. And right now I'm just affecting this layer. So we're going to lighten it up. Now I do have another piece that I've already lightened up. In fact, I used Photoshop Express to adjust it a bit. That is a free app that you can use on your phone or tablet. Definitely worth downloading. I use it all the time. I use it for just about everything, actually. Let's see here. So this is the one I actually have already adjusted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it over here. Now I may have to adjust the size because let's make sure I get.
Spence, this is Photoshop.
This is Photoshop. This is the newest version. We have an account, a Photoshop account. So
There.
we also pay $50 a month for it.
There's some free programs.
Yeah, Photoshop Express on mobile on Google app. I don't know about the iPhone stuff because we don't have an iPhone, but on Google it is free. There we go.
There's also GIMP, but I
don't know GIMP.
I don't know it, but apparently it's pretty good.
I have tried to use GIMP. It's kind of pain in the butt, but for tablets, and you can use it on the computer. Autodesk Sketchbook. It's a free app on Google, and I duplicated the layer because I'm actually going to turn it to black and white. There we go. And then I'm going to duplicate that again. I intentionally pulled the color first. That way when I go to do kind of a sepia, but it's actually just more of a single color, it'll be a little bit more.
Yes, bro, I think we have the whole suite of the...
Yeah, we have all of them. We have the video editing, which I haven't learned, but we use it. We use Photoshop for everything. Plus, your book is on InDesign.
Yep, InDesign and Photoshop.
All right, let me get my glove on. Surgical procedure here.
I was just wearing my glove.
I'm getting mine on. I have an artist graphic tablet. It's the XP pen. And I don't think I have the photo on here anymore. Let me check real quick. See if I do. I can add it real quick because I know this can get confusing. So let me add it real quick so I can...
Actually, if you've never used it before, it's mind-boggling.
It is. Make sure it's on here. It should be on.
Because there's a lot of nuance in. So if you have a graphics program like this, whether it's Photoshop, GIMP, or Painter, or anything else, the best thing that you can do is to mess around with it and to watch tutorials on YouTube. There's so much out there that is really good to teach or to learn it. So, but it's not necessarily intuitive. It's some of it's kind of complex, and some of it is you really have to start messing around with it.
Let's see. All right. So hopefully you'll have to let me know if you see this on screen because I can go into YouTube.
Carrie has Photoshop CS6 that runs off a CD. Works great. Yeah,
if you can keep it running, absolutely. Now
Yep.
you have to remember they are no longer, and this is, I was so mad when Photoshop did this back in 2014, because we just got a new computer. I had Photoshop, the newest one on Photoshop, I don't know if that was 7 or what it was, and I was putting it on a new computer and it wouldn't install, and I was like, think of all the cuss words. I'll be good. Think of all the cuss words that could be used at that time. And
I heard them.
You heard them. Called Adobe only to find out that it was you need to get a subscription because we are no longer supporting any of those. Even though you own it, you've got the key, you paid all that money for it a couple of years ago. You can't use it anymore.
See, and that's
I was ticked and refused to ever use Photoshop again.
But then
I tried GIMP, and because I was used to certain things, I I sucked it up. That's what I did. I sucked it up and got
like
the subscription.
For what I'm doing, like if you're doing a multimedia project, it's nice to have programs that are designed to work together, so it sucks that they did that.
Yes.
And that's not something like that's you and I talked about that for like my book and stuff. It's like you don't do that to people. If somebody buys something, you have to respect that investment.
Yeah.
It's not right.
All right, what you're seeing on the screen is a artist graphic tablet, which is on the right, and what it is basically a second monitor that you draw directly on, and that's what makes it so awesome. What you're seeing on the left is just a drawing tablet. Both of them hook up to the PC. In fact, you have to have a PC for it. This isn't a standalone thing. I, for many, many years, used the one on the left, and then my dad blessed us with some money to buy the graphics tablet, of which I had always wanted, and that's why I have it now. And you have one now, too.
Yep, use it all.
Cost a lot of money, but in the end, I think as artists, for what we both are doing, it is a very good investment. And with X Pen, I've been extremely happy with them. Have you?
I have too. I use mine less as the actual display, portion of it. And,
I don't normally.
And
All right.
I use mine kind of like it's more. I use mine more like the one on the left because you can use it that way. It works just fine. Or you can draw directly on it, which is also awesome.
Why are you using it like the one on the left?
Because that's how I'm used to using it. And
turn that monitor on and
but
draw.
it's big. The display that I'm working on is bigger. So, and it's for me, it's just more intuitive. Sometimes I do use it, but yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Burl says...
Costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. Sonia's here.
Hey, Sonia. Alrighty, so if you look down in the corner, I'm moving my mouse so you can see there's a little plus down here at the corner. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a layer because we are now going to draw. Now, I draw multiple layers, so I will draw her, and she will get her own layer. I will draw the cauldron, and it will get its own layer. I will draw the birds and the frog. They should get their own layer, and then the rest of it. And I do that in case I screw something up. I've got them in layers, and it makes it easier to go back and fix. All right, I don't think I need my keyboard anymore, but I do need to screw. So I'm drawing with a pen directly on my monitor, and I love it. You're nuts. You're nuts.
I love my tablet.
You're nuts. Alrighty, so I'm going to zoom in. I am going to pick the paintbrush, because that's what I tend to paint with. I am going to change the size of the paintbrush, because when I'm drawing a pattern, I tend to go to 3, just so it's not so thick and it's easier to do. Alright. I have a dial, and I'm going back and forth, zooming in and zooming out. I love my dial. There we go. So now I am drawing on that layer that I made. This layer right here, that's the one I'm drawing on. I'm not drawing on any of these layers down here. That way, I'm not drawing any. If I draw on any of these down here, I'm drawing directly on the picture, and I don't want to do that. I'm drawing right here on this layer that doesn't show anything until I start drawing. Now, I have to tell my mind I am not fixing his painting. I am not changing his painting because this is a study. I have to do exactly what he did because I'm studying him and his techniques. Now, if I know a part of the piece, like right here, I believe that is maybe missing paint because of how it is. So I will do the rock in the back as if the painting has been conserved, because that looks like a scratch to me. Like maybe, which is odd because it was in a museum the whole time, so you wouldn't think there'd be paint loss on the piece, but I guess things happen.
Well, we don't know its history. I
don't know its history, so I am going to do that area of the burning the same as everything around it. I'm not going to put the losses in. Alrighty, I do need to zoom in closer. And I got to figure out where everything is. See, that's her hair back here.
Wow, the snow's really coming down.
Yay! You see, even the size 3 I think is too big. And I'll show you. I'll back out. Alright. So now when I take this away, that's all I have. That's what I've drawn for the piece. Oops, I need the brighter one.
So with graphics programs like this, as you draw on a layer, you can turn off different layers so you can see them.
Yes.
You know, see what you're doing or what you're not doing, and that's really important because you work in a lot more layers than I do usually.
Oh yeah. Right. I intentionally was. Not do it.
But layers are a key to speeding up the process and ensuring that you can correct mistakes and things like that without. Because if you don't use layers, if you just do it in one layer, and you make a mistake, then you're gonna have to take time, just like you would on an actual piece of art. You're gonna have to, you know, color match and you know, fix things. I mean, there's always the undo button, which is really handy, but if you go down the line and you realize you made a mistake a while back, then the undo button isn't going to work.
Oh, I do. I use it still.
Well, I mean, it only goes back so far.
I haven't had that on older Photoshops. That's true, but I haven't had that problem with.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I am wrong. I stand corrected.
Well, maybe I just haven't gone that far. That is possible. You may be right. I just haven't gone that far in. All right, so I am not going to draw this exact, meaning I'm not drawing every detail in. My goal of doing this particular piece is I want to try to replicate the brush strokes. I want to try to get a different feeling, closer to the feeling of the painting versus a lot of smooth shading. From a distance, because it's such a large piece, everything looks smooth. So if you were standing a good, 3 to 6 feet away from it, because it's such a large painting, you have to stand back, it will look smooth because put everything, our brain puts everything together. But if you look, especially up in the sky, you see all of those brush strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it almost looks like he did.
But he was pretty rough with it. That's
He was,
interesting.
and that's what I want. I want that roughness. See, even in the background, he's smoother, but I want that roughness. That's why one of the reasons I picked this piece. I mean, I've always loved this piece. All right. She has a snake around her neck. I don't know what this is. I think this is part of her hair, and then this is probably her neck. I don't have any real details. I just have to go by the landmarks I know.
So, Dwayne Manfredi.
Hi, Dwayne.
Manfredi? I don't know. But Dwayne asked what program you're using. It's Photoshop.
Photoshop.
They had Photoshop in college, but don't have computer again. Plan on making a gaming PC so I know it can handle graphics. If you got a gaming PC, then it should be able to handle Photoshop.
I have. That's what mine is. It's an older gaming, but I also have to be able to live stream. If you have a tablet, especially if you've been going to college, I wouldn't doubt that you might have a tablet. Autodesk Sketchbook. I need to see this just real quick because I don't feel like I'm saying it right. Okay, yeah, Autodesk Sketchbook. That's what it is. You can actually use it on PC as well. So, backing out, you can see it looks like her.
Oh, Carmen just found the frog.
Yeah, the frog's down here at the very bottom. And then I thought, because of other pictures I was looking at, that the raven over here was sitting on a dead rabbit. But it's not. It's an actual skull and rock. Which made me happier. I really didn't want to do a dead rabbit.
But it didn't make sense when it was cut off.
It didn't make sense when it was cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that is true.
You
see, the colors are very close together, and that's another part of trying to separate everything.
Well, you have a different challenge, too, because you're going to be burning it. So you're turning a piece where, he...
Color mattered.
Was relying on the contrast of the colors, and you're going to have to rely on contrast alone.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning because I will use white because I'm not going to obviously be able to burn the smoke from the cauldron, which is a very important part of this piece. So I'm going to have to use white there. I'm going to have to use some white along the circle he's casting just for the brightest spots, not for all of it. I'm going to have to use white because if we look at our sepia photo, we really see that how the colors are very similar. So I'm going to have to use contrast. Maybe see it's hard because this is a master study. You're supposed to be studying what the master did. So for me to even change the contrast a little bit, does that not change what the master did?
I mean, as soon as you decided to do it in pyrography, you went down that rabbit hole. And these mental gymnastics that you're going through are exactly what a master study is about.
Yes.
Because you're trying to figure out how to do something in a different way that you're not comfortable with or that you're not used to. But luckily for us, Valarie chose a simple piece because she rarely ever tries to do something overly complicated or grand. And so that's good.
I wanted to do a piece that if it sold, awesome, but if it sat on my wall for the next 30 years, I would be happy with it. That is why, and I have always loved this piece. I've always really liked, if somebody asked me who my favorite painter was, I think it would be John Williams Waterhouse. I love the feel of his paintings. I love how he portrays women.
Well, what's really cool is that at that time that he was painting, there wasn't a lot of fantasy being done, and this falls squarely into the realm of fantasy. And because Tolkien hadn't written Lord of the Rings yet, because he wasn't alive. I don't think.
He may have been alive, but he wasn't.
He was a kid.
Yeah.
but so all the people really had to go off of was historical stuff and maybe some fairy tales and biblical stuff. So, but he was taking these scenes from different epics and some biblical stuff, but he was, from poems and things like that, and he was turning them into paintings. And so for his time, that was really unusual, because the time that he was painting, there was definitely a lot of portraits and landscapes and pictures of tall ships and horses and cannons and stuff.
Well, there was also portrait stuff done. And at the same time he was painting, I'm pretty sure Cézanne and Monet and Manet were painting as well.
Yeah, they were.
But they were doing more impressionist.
Yeah, impressionist and flowers and they're doing a lot of stuff, but not a whole lot of people were doing what Waterson was doing. So that's really cool because he was a pioneer in the field.
I know right now it looks off, but remember, I'm not doing very detailed lines because I think if I do too detailed, I will lose the challenge I've set for myself.
Well, yeah. I mean, because ultimately you want to get your placing right, but it's the strokes from the pyrography that are going to be defining how this piece works. So if you go too far with the detail on your pattern, you're going to lose that the part where you interpret it.
All right. So the snake is going to be, I think, on a separate layer. I mean, you can always merge these layers later, so it's not like that part really matters. I would rather do layers because I've done it where I was working, realized I wasn't working on a separate layer, was drawing on the darn picture instead, had to redo everything.
I think we've all been there.
Ugh.
Did you work in because when I work, I might work in 15, 20 layers, and then I will flatten down and I'll start merging them so that I don't get lost once I get done with an area. But Valarie, I've seen Valarie with like
I keep a master file with all the
50, 60,
more than a hit.
100 layers, you know.
And I will save that master file with those layers if I need to go back and fix something.
I mean, and that's really cool if you're doing a piece. Like, I should probably do that more because I have a lot of work that I have to alter, you know, a little bit. And so you can take a layer that is a component of a painting, and then you can alter that, and then it doesn't affect the rest of it. Yeah. So it's easier to like pull stuff out and put new stuff in.
Now he has some very detailed yet not detailed designs on her dress. Based on the other paintings, the studies I saw him do, he is based on a Mediterranean style woman. And so these would be more of a it looks almost like Disney. Sorry, but it's not.
Oh, I see.
Hercules jumped in my head from Disney.
Clark is here.
Hey, Marcus.
Speaking of,
Hey.
Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll have to ask him how close he is to Tokyo. I don't know.
Yeah, so this painting that Valerie's working on, the original, is on display. It's an exhibition in Tokyo, Marcus. So you could potentially go see this.
Well, it depends on where you live.
Ginormous painting.
It's called the Harry Potter Magical Arts Show.
Yeah.
Art show.
Because she's doing magic. So
I'd have to go look and see what museum for. Alright.
But you could update it, and you could put like some people from different houses in there, and Dumbledore.
We got houses up top.
McGonagall could be off to the side, saying, "It's not how you do it."
See, we got a great shadow right here. We do have some darks, but he really relied on the color to help get across the feeling he wanted for the painting, which he's painting an oil painting. That's, totally what you're supposed to be doing. So I have to switch my brain and look at it in a different way.
But I think that's good, though, because
yes,
because
absolutely.
If you're doing pyrography, but you're approaching it like an oil painter, that's definitely.
I'm excited to see the results of what I can pull off by shifting my brain.
I'm seeing what's going on out here.
They are being dogs.
Oh, yeah.
That's what dogs do. So just very quickly, I may come back to the warrior on her skirt just so I can make sure. That one I believe is going to need a little bit more detail in my pattern. He left my studio door open. Now it's cold. So I'm not going to put in every wrinkle. I'm going to put in like the main shadows because I do need to make sure I have those in the right spot. You made it cold. You're going to turn the heater back on.
You need the heater back on?
Yeah. I don't have any socks on.
They're lonely.
They're lonely.
I'd bring them in.
No. No.
But I don't think they're going to stop.
It's fine. They're being puppies. Alright, let's see. What other information do I need on that side? I think I've got her.
Wait, they got water. Check.
Of course I got water. I think I need this too dark. Alright. Go. Let me switch and check the comments real fast because I can't see everything. Let's see here. Oh, okay, Dwayne. But even at 72, you got a tablet. You can definitely use it. Okay. Oh. Okay, Joanne. Okay. See, Marcus, I told him that just because he's like, Japan's small. Just because Japan's small doesn't mean you can get to where it's at. Alrighty. Alrighty. So the flowers, my flowers are going to have to be very more expressionist than detail, which is actually what he kind of did. So I think I'll be on the right track for that. Now, are there any super toasties who would want to do this painting? Because I'm definitely open to giving you guys the pattern for this one. I know it can be overwhelming sometime. Get her circle in. See, we got a little bit. I don't know what these shapes are, but if I put the shapes as they are, they will totally read the right way. So I guess on some level I have to tell my brain, I don't have to know what this stuff is. It's there. Go with it. This is definitely going to be a learning process for me as well. And I wanted to do this because I personally love watching art history documentaries. I will go and watch hours of art history. Felt like I know I never got that in school, so I'm making up for it. And I know some people may find it boring, but when you start listening to how these artists thought and viewed things, and then you overlap that with how you view things, you start getting new ideas. Everything okay?
Mm-hmm. I give them some vegetables.
Gotcha.
They're so lonely.
Oh, poor babies. Poor babies. They can go play in the snow.
He lives in the boondocks. No chance of going
Yeah,
to Tokyo.
there's no chance.
Tottori City.
See, I told you, just because it's there. That's like saying that everybody could get to Phoenix.
You were right.
Sorry, what? I was breathing. I didn't hear you.
This is my life.
Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. Mwah.
You're so beautiful. How's everybody's Christmas?
Alrighty. Okay, so let's see. We got, other than the flowers, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm just going to make shapes just so my brain sees this and goes, that's why there's a blank. Just putting in the shapes. I don't care if they're off.
So Carrie would love the pattern.
Okay.
And Andrea.
Well, Andrea's got she can absolutely have. But I really think you should do the girl with the pearl earring.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking... Oh.
But you can do this one as well, too. So, it's not like you only get one. You can do as many as you want.
Carrie's Christmas was good.
Good.
We had a good Christmas. It was very chill.
Miss the grandbabies. Alrighty.
Still waiting on Valerie's present to get here.
Still waiting on your present to get here. Now, we do have straight lines. Her wand is, for the most part, straight, but her cauldron legs, those are really straight. I might have to use shapes from Photoshop in order to just drop them in here. But real quick, I am going to put the shapes.
Pauline Brechlin says, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hello, Pauline. I don't know what everything is. I don't think we need to know.
Marcus is going to try and stay up till the end of the stream.
Oh. That's going to be... You'll be tired.
And Carmen did the sarin ball. I don't know what that is.
I can't see.
Is that an event? Or is that something...
Saran ball?
Something you eat?
Saran ball.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's almost like those blow-up balls that people can get in and go down things, hills.
Oh, I don't know.
Zobi or whatever. Zorbi. Alright, so very quickly, because I don't... we can't see details. Like, I know where his head is, because I can see it based on the knowledge I have of a human body. The face or head goes here.
It's Photoshop, Pauline.
Yep. This is Photoshop on a artist graphic tablet. Monitor. Artist graphic monitor. So I'm drawing directly on a specific monitor. Special monitor. That would be more of a correct word. Alright, let's see. See, she has a mix of different hair from a different culture. And then her face.
Well, I really like the way that he did his skin tones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he really understood how light interacts with...
And he was a younger guy when he painted this one. This is like
Was he?
one of the, yeah, this was like one of his... See, is that a snake or a duck? We don't know. We'll just draw the lines. And we'll make them look like they look on the dress, and I don't think it'll matter.
It looks like
See what I mean?
It looks like a duck that you'd see in a bathtub. You know.
Kind of.
There
There we go. All right, let's look at our...
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, it could be a snake.
Yeah, it could be a snake curled, and that's the tongue coming out, or it could be a ducky.
I don't know.
I don't know. Do we need to know, though? It works as a shape on the outfit, so does it really matter that we don't know what it is? If we look at... See, because if we look at it in sepia form, so the way I'm going to be burning it, it's just kind of a blob. That doesn't... I don't think it matters. As long as I've got the shape as close as I can, it'll look right.
Carmen, I've never heard of that, but it sounds fun.
Alright, so very quickly, I'm going to add a new layer. I can change the name of this layer to... Where is... Just want to rename it. Oh, duh, I'm looking. There we go. That's easy enough. So I'm going to quickly draw the snake. I tend, even though when I transfer it doesn't matter, it's all the same color, but when I'm transferring it, it's a visual, just another visual for my eye. I am going to change. Actually, I need to go on this layer. And very quickly, draw with the color I've already used. Why aren't you giving it to me? I'll just do it here. Okay. There we go.
Dwayne says he does wood carving. This would make a great relief as well.
Oh, it would. Absolutely. Why am I not? What am I doing wrong? Sometimes you're just in the wrong spot. Alright. That's so I can pull that color later if I need to. There we go. Alright, so let's go back to this. I am going to go to the snake layer.
Well, that's a handy shortcut, though.
What? Putting it all on a base layer so I can just pull that color.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to go chasing things.
I may steal that.
It's not stealing. You learned something.
I'm stealing it.
It's fine. Steal it. I don't care. I don't care.
You should, because I'm stealing it.
Go. Let's see here. Our snake. And I think it's mainly because it's easier for me to tell what's what if I change the color. Because the snake, and he's right, it would make a fantastic, I think, relief. What I do plan on doing one of the, hopefully this summer, relief. It's been a very long time since I've done one. Relief burn with carving. Alright, see what I don't know is, yep, no, I guess that is the bottom of the snake. If not, we're putting it with it anyway.
Man, Spence had like 3 turkey dinners during Christmas. You got some watercolor stuff
Ooh.
and a scroll saw.
Ooh, good job. Oh, that's right. His dad got him a scroll saw. That's right. Alrighty.
Dwayne says, I spent time sketching and drawing. I would like a copy as well. I think he's talking about the pattern. I hope you have a great new year. I'm so glad I found you guys.
I'm glad you found us. Unfortunately, I would love to give you the pattern, Dwayne, but that's going to be for my paid members. I do need to do things for them, so I try to give them as many patterns. I think there's over 30 patterns now over on Facebook for them. I feel bad saying that. Yeah. You know,
well,
let me think about
their
it.
Their investment has to be respected.
Yes.
So,
yes, it does. They take care of us. I make sure they're...
But Dwayne says giving him some great inspiration and new ideas.
Oh, good.
And that's always good.
Exactly. You know what? I had been stuck. The idea of doing a master a while back, I did a live with the Super Toasties and we were talking about that. Or I was. It's not like they're talking. I was talking. And this thought came into my head. And so I was really interested in doing it. Alright, we're going to do the cauldron.
How long are you planning to go today?
As long as I can spell. Called works.
Dwayne says that's okay. I can become a paid member soon. I fully understand. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
Dwayne.
so much. I appreciate that.
Sometimes it's hard being an artist because I think some people don't realize like how much. I mean, clearly that you guys do, and we appreciate that. But there's a lot of people, you know, that just think it's super easy, you know.
Let's see here. So this is gold. But if we look at our sepia, it's just different levels of shine. What?
Let's look at this. It is in color. It's gold, but if you turn it to sepia, it's brown.
Well, it's different.
This blue is also brown.
Yeah,
and this dress is light brown.
Well,
this raven is brown.
It's all brown. No, what they show is the actual contrast and shine of metal versus us getting stuck on the actual color of it.
And that's cool too, because then, but by doing this, actually, I think that if you do black and white studies, and pyrography falls into that because it's monochromatic, but it helps your understanding of color and structure as well, because a lot of times it's easy to define something with color, but when you remove color, you're forced to study the structure and how an object interacts with light, what kind of texture it has, because all these things define it.
Yeah, you can do a little BS thing with color to have the color carry it. But when you don't have color to do that, you gotta find a new way to BS it.
Yeah. So if you can define something in a monochromatic, medium, such as pyrography, and it looks...
Oh, shoot, fire. I did it. God.
What'd you do? Were you drawing on the image?
I was drawing on the image.
Uh-oh.
Let me take it away.
So, yeah, if you are able to do that in a monochromatic medium, you're going to be way better off when you switch back to color, because then you're not relying on color. You can use it to create accents and to create impact.
Let's do this again. It will happen probably multiple times in the process of making this pattern. My brain just gets going and I forget to look to see what layer I'm on, and I just start going.
I don't think I heard, or you didn't answer.
What's that?
How long are we going?
I don't know.
Well, it's noon right now.
Okay, but we were also 10 minutes late, so I owe them.
I'm just doing my job. My job is to remind you stuff and and to read chat.
I know why. You're chomping at the bit to show something.
No, I'm not. I'm hungry.
Alright, so where he painted the white for the smoke, I am still going to burn that area. I am going to use probably a white gouache and do some wiping away, just like he looks like he did more dry brush on it, but I'm sure he probably wiped away some of the white as well. There's also like an orangey peach color in his smoke. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that. But so where the raven is behind the cauldron, I do need to burn those areas and then put the paint on top of that in order to make it look like what he did. Because that's pretty much what he did.
You know what it kind of looks like, and I don't know if it's if that's what he was going for.
What's that?
But you have like the rocks and like the ruins behind. You know, you see the square windows of the buildings, and it has kind of a light color too. It's almost like this is like morning time when the sun rises and it starts hitting stuff at different levels.
It could be. Or
So the smoke, where it's peach colored, it's almost like the sun is.
Oh, the sun! Like he's down below.
Yeah.
He's down kind of in a flat ravine, and the sun is starting to hit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
But what's interesting is that if you hadn't done this study, that would not be an observation that I would ever have made about this painting.
Yeah. I do need to shape her boobs in there. Yeah, so I can get them in the right spot. I'm still drinking my coffee from this morning. Alright, so let's go back. I was intentionally working on this sepia so that we didn't get lost in the color. The main thing, I have an undo button right here on my tablet, so I don't have to go looking for it.
Yeah, I use that thing all the time.
I do too.
The dial and the undo button are
Yep.
so handy.
To me, those are probably the most important ones. Although I do have my resize up here. See, I can't tell what is in this spot. Do we have another leg right here? But it's all... Can't even tell what the color, what that is. But I think... Let's do the other side. Because whatever is going on the right side, it's going to be the same on the left. As in amount of legs and whatnot. So, I've been trying to think about how I'm going to burn this. And in order to get the more of a brush stroke versus a smooth burning, I think I'm going to have to go with a higher heat for darker areas and do a max of 2 strokes. So I'm going to have to use my heat more, I think.
What kind of, are you going to, is this going to change the kind of tip, kind of pen that you use?
No, I can still do that with the 18s. I can do it with all of them, but no, it'll still be the use of the same pens. It's just going to be, I'm using them slightly different.
Oh, okay.
Or in a different way. I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to. So what's that right there? It doesn't look like a raven right there. Oh, it's a rock, I think. Sometimes I have to zoom out so I can tell what something is. It's either a shadow or a rock there. Put my color down. I forgot to put my color down.
So it says magic circle, but the ravens came because she's just making something like pop, it's like
He's just making soup?
She's making soup or popcorn or something, and they're just hanging out waiting.
Alright.
They're buddies.
Did I do it again? So this will be on basically a 12 by 18 basswood. It's an inch thick. I don't want it that thick, but that's what I got. And the only reason I don't want it that thick is it's heavier to frame and hang. That's the only reason. See, I don't know what that line is, so let's put it in. But I don't know that it goes there. Because I'm looking at my cauldron on this side and I'm not seeing that same shape. So that just may be...
I wonder if those are like pokers or something that's hanging off.
Oh, yeah, I guess it could be. He did really good with his ellipses, so I have to pay attention to that.
Ellipses. You can make or break a painting.
Yeah, let's see. No, I think it's okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Alright. So as for the ashes, drawing wise, I think all I'm gonna do is like the outside, so I know the perimeter of where it's at. These are ashes. I don't feel, oops, hit my button. Don't feel like I need. Sorry, I keep hitting the button on my pen. So this is just telling me, hey, this is how far the ashes go out. Here's where some of the darker sticks are. That's pretty much all I need, I think. Because again, let's back out. When we look at it from a distance, it looks like it's where ashes and wood would be. So I don't have to worry about that. As for the glow, I am going to put... I use dashes and dots for a lot of shading. I've always done that. It's just so my brain sees it a little different. Okay, that is different, but I think I really need to turn the painting, but I didn't want to make anybody dizzy. So undo that. I hit the wrong button. I don't want that. Yeah, that's fine. So right now.
So why did you do that?
So it's easier for me to draw.
Okay.
This is just so I can draw. Kind of like when you're turning your paper.
Yeah.
Or your piece of wood. Remember, I'm going to paint over this, so I think it's okay for me to just burn that line, just not as dark. There we go. I think it'll read better if I have the lines in the right spot. Put it back. Alrighty. So we have her, we have our cauldron. I think I need to put her right boob closest to you in, I think just a quick line, and maybe a quick line where her eye is, because it's a profile portrait. We're not seeing the face in the same way. So, I need to be on her. There we go. So in doing this, I think it will read better. Alright, let's see. Just so I know where things are at. I know it's a different color, but I'm not going to stress about it.
Marcus says to him, it looks like each of the cauldron legs consists of 3 legs and posts, and that those in the back are a set of legs that angle into each other at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah, that looks right.
Yeah, it's a tripod.
Yep, we got it right here, and then we see a little bit more here because it's turning and on the back side.
I bet you he used an actual
Cauldron. Oh, I'm sure. I'd be surprised. I mean, it's not that it's not possible that he couldn't just paint this, and he did paint it multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple times he painted it. So that feels... Alright. Now, I'm going to quickly do a raven just because of how dark it is. And I have to go against my better judgment. I don't have to put all the details in. Don't have to put all the details in. Yes, I just sung to myself to keep me from doing it. So, we have a raven here. Don't know. Oh, okay. There's a shadow underneath the raven here. And I think that kind of throws me off. The wing is up. We got the tail. The eye is kind of right here. And this is pretty much all we have. But we know it's a bird based on its shape. Do that. You see where it kind of gets lost. I have to remember to do a very similar tonal value in order for it to keep hitting the wrong one. Go on here, put my blue down. Alright. I know it doesn't look like a raven.
Well, it does.
Let's see here. Let's try this one.
What I think is interesting, I mean, and I'm not saying that he has or hasn't, but I've done master studies before, and it's interesting because you'll find places where the artists may have made mistakes, or there maybe something's a little off, but you would have never noticed it.
No. You also can't fix it.
No.
In doing a master study.
You would have never noticed it. It would have never occurred to you unless you had done the study.
Alright, so we know we got shadow here, but we're not seeing a whole lot. When I back out, we can see it, but that's all the shape is for. Let's do the bigger one over here real quick, because this one is a little closer in detail. I think this one, because it's not a part of the other ones, that maybe he went a little more detailed with it, because it's a different part of the painting.
Well, he may have been wanting to draw attention to the skull.
Don't fix it. I'm talking to myself.
I figured you were.
Yes, I do talk to myself a lot.
That's true.
Don't judge me. I'm a very good listener.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we have our skull here. This is what I thought was a dead rabbit because of how it was cropped on other pieces, on other photos. Because right here it looked like, a leg going in. So there's a rock right here. Put our rock in real quick. So what is back here? And then we have our shadow. Leg here.
Marcus wants to know, will you add extra details to the ravens?
Nope. I will only do what Mr. Waterhouse did.
Because he's doing your Skyrim dragon now, and it seems like you added quite a bit of detail in the leg and claw areas. I don't remember, but you probably did.
I probably did. But that one wasn't a study.
You were just wanting to paint
that was fan art.
Yep.
This, I'm sticking very close to just what he did.
Dwayne wants to know, are you going to paint this later, or will you use stains?
No, I won't use stains. I'm trying to decide. There will be white on it. I am trying to decide if I'm going to use an orangey red, like watercolor pencil, just for the glow below the cauldron. I probably won't decide that until I'm done burning it. Because then I can sit and look at it and decide, does it need it? Should I do it? And it's also something I can think about as I'm burning. But right now, I'm not sure until it's in. You know, I don't want to lose the frog, sorry. Until it's in, I'm not going to make a decision yet. But I don't feel I need to. You know? Because it's not done. I need to see. Because maybe color would take away from the burning and what I was trying to do. So I have to really see when it's done, I think. And there's very few pieces that I do that I go into thinking I'm adding color to this. I don't tend to add a lot of color, but I do try to plan that out first. Maybe not necessarily the color, because there's been plenty of times, oh, that looks like a frog, that I've done a live going, I don't know what color I'm doing. But I knew I was doing the color. And see, now I just realized that I need this color again. Don't go away. Why are you not giving me? There we go. See, now I've got that color back. And I can go back down to that layer because I feel like I missed. And see, we got a shadow here. I see the shadow. There's a shadow of the cauldron. It's smoke. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do color on this. It may take away from what I'm trying to do. Let's see. Now, you were talking about this being morning light.
It could be evening.
I think it's actually more evening, and I say that because of the angle of the shadow. We've got shadow, if you look at her wand, the shadow's casting, is casting up. All the ravens are casting in the same direction. The frog doesn't have a shadow. The shadow on her feet, is also casting that way. So we know our primary light source is coming from the bottom left, with the secondary light source from the top right to left. What you say?
Yeah, I mean...
Right here is our secondary source direction.
I don't
this
even know
way.
if there's
It could be a fire. It could be fire, but our light source is going...
The main one is, yes.
In that direction.
I mean, you can look at the shadow from the tip of her wand or stick or whatever she's using.
Yeah, right here.
You can see the direction, and that's really handy too for a study because, you know, you don't have to approximate because you have an exact line that shows you which way the light source is.
We have... Why? No,
Spence is here. Was he here?
He was here the whole time.
Oh, he's just saying hi to somebody in the chat.
Why is it not
There's
drawing?
somebody that showed up in chat, but I have no idea how to pronounce that because it's Cyrillic.
Oh, I unless he's saying vor nego. Is that?
I don't know.
Or do we have a troll?
Maybe.
Maybe. Why am I not having my drawing on? What did I do?
Uh-oh.
That is an eraser. My pen should be drawing. Why is it not? What did I do? It's normal. It's opaque. What did I do? Something's going on. I just saw it when I looked at the color. The color should be black. There we go. Maybe my pen's off. Because it's my pen that I'm... Oh, I'm at 47. This is the pen. I was too wide. There we go. There we go. So I'm wondering, yes, if we looked at the sepia one, now I figured out what the world I'm doing. We know the light source is going in this direction for all of this. And then we have the shading in here. And then we have a light source here. And we have some flames right there. And we have a darkening of the sky up here, which goes along with the sunset. And the sunset is lighter at the bottom and darker at the top. So I think that's what we're looking at. Here's our horizon line. So I think this is a sunset, which is why we're only seeing the color on the top up here, because we've got this ridge. I feel like I'm playing, like I'm doing a football thing. It's kind of fun. So we've got the ridge here that's blocking the light. Yeah, I mean, his lighting is a little... But he's the artist. He's still conveying what he was going for. Is there anything else I'm missing? And see, I just did all that, and then all I have to do, turn it off, and it goes away. See? That is the beauty of doing your patterns in a drawing program that does layers. So not only Photoshop, but GIMP does layers. Autodesk Sketchbook does layers. Yeah, and that's the benefit. You get to turn them on and off, and you make them go away.
IVFS says, hey, Val and Jason. Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca, you're back. Did she leave? I guess
so.
she did. She was the first one. First one in. So do we have any questions? Because I've gotten really late now. Well, it's only been an hour and 10 minutes, but...
Well...
Because I was late.
Yeah.
I was late.
But I do think it's a good time.
Well, let's see if we have any other questions. Did we have any buffering in doing this?
I didn't see any.
Good.
I was watching carefully.
Good. Yeah, an hour and 12 minutes is how long we've been going. Alrighty. So let's see if we have any other questions.
People really seem to like watching Photoshop.
Good. Well, and I need to wrap up why I'm doing it in Photoshop. Now, you can print it out on regular paper. For this piece, because I have done it at 12 by 17, we know it's too big for a printer. The widest we can go is, I'm going to go ahead and turn these off just so it's easier. And I can undo anything I'm doing, so I'm not worried about it. When I go to print this, I will print it on tracing paper. Okay? But first, I need to figure out the size. So we know that half of 12 is 6. Come on. Let's get this. This is how I do all of my patterns when they are bigger than my printer. Now I can go longer, but it can't be any wider than 8.5. So I tend to go at 8. But I can go longer. In fact, I have tracing paper. I think I'm up to, there's the big one right there. I think it's 11 by 19 or something. So I only have to split this one time because I can print the length. I just can't print the width. So what I will do is I will mark out where I will crop. Keep it all back. And then I will hit print. What did I just do? I hit something wrong. Cancel. I will hit print. I will make sure that the paper is going in the same direction. And because I am printing longer, I may have to go in and change the settings because right now it's cutting off her feet. Let's see here, layout.
You could also, if you really wanted to, I suppose you could find a print shop somewhere, actual printing shop, and they would I'm sure would be able to print on in a larger format.
That should be good. I stuck it on legal. No, it's still not long enough. See, I haven't done the long ways printing.
You may have to divide it further.
I may have to divide it further. That's what I'm trying to. Oh. So, I can actually put in a custom size. But it looks like 14. It's the highest I can go. Bummer.
Yeah, so you have to print it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
print it in 4.
Yep. Alright, so that means I need to cancel. Not that I was going to print any of this anyway. I'm actually going to undo my crop because now I need to find my half 18, 9. Get it roundabout, and now I have to recrop with just this square. Then I will print again, but now I won't have to do a specific size.
Oh, I see.
Yep. So I tend to move it over to one of the corners, then I'll hit print. Then I will hit my undo button. I will go back into crop. I will crop it this way. I don't think I've ever really shown this.
No.
I will hit print, go through it all again. I tend to move this one here up this way, hit print, hit undo, crop again. And so I will print this all on tracing paper, and then I will have to tape it together. And I try to make sure when I tape it together that I don't tape over any lines that I need to transfer, because then you need to press harder to get the pressure through the tape. I'll drop it down here. I'll hit the print, undo, and then last one. Now the printer I'm using a very cheap Hewlett-Packard printer. It's a top-down feed. That way I can put longer stuff in. And it's easier to, I don't have to trim my tracing paper a second time. I actually printed through vellum and it did a good job on that, but vellum was a pain in the butt to transfer through. It's thinner, but, and then I will click print, undo, make sure I have my original back. And when I'm doing that, I am only doing that with my pattern, so not the photo. I'm not doing that with the photo. I'm only doing it with these lines that I've already drawn. I didn't do that because it was harder to see, so that's why I didn't show the clip with, but I guess could. I mean, there's more that needs to go into the drawing, like the background. You know, let's undo.
Ivy, that's Rebecca, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Her Optima arrives tomorrow.
Yay! Yay! So see, right here, when I go to print, and it'll make it bigger, that's why I'm showing it to you. right here, you can see I've got all this information. So when I go to tape it, it will be taped down here at the bottom. Then taped up here at to the next page. And I might find a very small area. Let's see here. So if I did that, we'll just trim this side. Because these are the sides I'm looking at putting together first. So when this prints, yeah, the tape's going to be right here. The tape is going to be right here. Hopefully it is it showing my my cursor on the print screen?
Yes.
Okay. I might put a little piece of tape, like tiny, right here to keep it lined up. But that'll be it. There'll be just the easy lines of the background. We know that for the cave and the mountain lines, the ridge lines. So there's not going to be a whole lot printed out ink-wise there. But that's how I do anything that's bigger than 8.5 by 11. It's like that. I know it's tedious. It can be a pain in the butt. But it's the easiest way. I'm trying to see if I have any patterns laid out that I tape together. Nope, that one I used a bigger sheet of paper. And I really like the tracing paper because everything is thinner. I don't have to press as hard. I think these are all my small ones thrown in. I think all my big ones are put away. Yeah, these are all, those are all smaller.
Okay, I'll pick them up.
Well, no, I intentionally did that.
Why did you throw them?
To get them out of my way. Those are the ones I need to put away. I need to get another pattern holder box. I want to show them how I tape together. I know I showed it for like a hummingbird. Alright, this is Burroughs Bear that we did last year. My piece. Did I tape? I did tape. Alright. There we go. So Burroughs Bear that we did, I did it at like 13 by 15. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make us bigger. Hopefully. There we go. So see how I've taped it together? I will trim one side more than the other. That way I have an ability to overlap it. And try to tape where there's not as much ink. Because I don't want to have to press through the ink when I transfer. And I will tape both sides of it over the tape line. Just to make it a little more sturdy. I've gone as far as, what, 6 tapes together? Has it been that much?
No. Beryl said I still gotta finish my bear, but I thought she wrote still gotta finish my beer. I was like, oh.
Well, that might help her with
Beryl's
her bear.
been drinking during the stream. Okay.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find a bigger pattern. I take all of my printouts and my patterns and I just toss them in a box.
Marcus says hubcap up close.
Do it.
Hubcap up close.
Well, I know
Yeah.
Hubcap wanted to show you guys something.
I'll wait till you do the outro.
Do we have any more questions? Because I think they get the gist of what I'm talking about with
I
taping.
think
So, I shall make a mess.
You just threw everything.
I was trying to get them out of my way. Ah. There.
Bro
That
says
away.
not noon here yet. Well, it's past noon here.
Yeah, it is.
Dwayne says, thank you guys so much for your time and all the ideas I'm getting. I hope to get a large format printer at some time. Hopefully you're right. However, you're right to just bring a file to a print shop.
Yes,
Even
yes.
Staples. Yeah, you
absolutely.
can. You can.
Absolutely.
You know, if that's easiest, for sure.
Let's see here. We got, I guess I am too big on the screen. Oh, but you want to show them. So Moritz, one of the Spectral Toasties, Moritz and Hubcap have been friends for 5 years, 6 years now?
No, it's like 11 to 10 years.
Really? 10 years?
Yeah, I've known him since he was 15. He's like 25, 26 now.
Oh, wow. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
And they've forged a very good friendship. So he decided to send Hubcap a Christmas present this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Moritz outdo me.
Yeah,
Go ahead and show him what
So I have a love of Star Wars, as many people my age do, because that was like the first like big sci-fi movie that I ever watched. I was in '77. But anyway, so Moritz sent me a lightsaber, like not a cheap one, but like a really high quality one. So here's a headphone warning. So just be warned because it's loud. So it's God, that's loud. So he sent me this custom lightsaber, and it is beautiful. And I thought he sent me like a map because it was in a big rectangular box. But
you know what it's good for? Here you go. Ow! That hurt!
Anyway.
We can't have nice things.
So, there it is.
Yeah, thank you, Mort.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. Yes, this is our last show of the year.
It really is.
Next year
Wow.
it will be 2022.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Alrighty, so if we don't have any more questions, you know what to say. Besides, wait a minute, let me be smaller. Too big on the screen, too big. There we go. Now,
Well,
that's good.
You're like super tiny now.
That's
what
good.
the heck?
That's good.
You don't need to be that small.
Say it with me. You know what to say.
We're super
You're
small.
awesome.
You're awesome.
You can do
so
this.
small.
Why? Because you're a pyro artist.
Do it.
Happy burning. See you next year. Next year we start burning this.